Hey guys, let's go over homework 5, classifying real numbers. We are working in the real number system, so all of your answers will have the real box checked. They're all real numbers. Next, we want to decide, do we have a rational or an irrational number? Number 1 is rational because it's a terminating decimal. Number 2 is irrational because it's a non-perfect square that we're taking the square root of. 5 pi is irrational because it includes pi. 30 over 3 simplifies to 10. That's rational. And negative square root of 9 is equivalent to negative 3. That's rational. For any box that we checked rational, we now want to decide if it's an integer. That means it's a positive or negative whole number. Number 1, negative 6.75 is a decimal. That is not an integer. The next one is number 4, that's 10. 10 is a whole number, so that's an integer, and negative 3 is an integer. Once we've decided if they are integers, we'll then decide if they are whole and natural. Whole numbers start at 0 and count up, which is true for number 4, and natural numbers are 1 or larger, which is also true for number 4. Check your answers on 1 through 5. You can pause the video if you need more time. Number 6, Rachel states that negative 5.5 is an integer because it is negative. Is she correct? No, because it has a decimal. Number 7, Jeremy says that 5.676677666777 is rational because it is a decimal that goes on forever with a pattern. Yes, there's a pattern, but it's not a repeating pattern. It's a changing pattern. So it's irrational because it's not a repeating pattern. Number 8 through 10, we're going to organize these. Which value could be included in section D? Well, let's first take a look at what this picture represents. A, that is the irrational section, where B is rational. The entire box, which is not labeled with a letter, is the real number system. Inside the rationals is the integers, followed by the whole numbers, and finally the naturals. So now we can go back to number 8. Which one is section D? Which one is a whole number? Whole number is starting at 0 and counting up, and it has to be no decimal parts, so that would be C. Number 9, which could not be included in section B, so that's a rational number. 5 is rational because 5 is in the naturals. Negative 12.5 is a rational number. 1/2 is also a rational number. But the square root of 32 is not a perfect square, which means it is irrational. Last question, number 10, give an example of a value that could be represented by C. Well, C is talking about the integers. So there's several answers that you could put here. If we're looking at focused on C and not going down to section D, that would be a negative number. So like negative 5, negative 17, these would work because they're found in C.